Your taste is tacky and embarrassing, my mother-in-law declared in front of 50 guests at our housewarming party, while my husband nodded in agreement. 20 minutes later, celebrity interior designer Victoria Chen walked through our front door, took one look at my living room, and announced to everyone present that I had created one of the most innovative design concepts she had encountered in her 15-year career. What happened next transformed not just my marriage, but my understanding of what happens when people underestimate your vision. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. My name is Isabella Martinez, and until 6 months ago, I believed that family loyalty meant accepting criticism gracefully, and that keeping peace was more important than defending your creative vision. The events that unfolded at our housewarming party on October 15th would shatter both of those beliefs and reveal truths about my marriage, my capabilities, and my worth that I had been avoiding for far too long. The foundation for that devastating evening had been laid over the previous 8 months, as my husband David and I worked to purchase and renovate our first home together. We had been married for 4 years, and this house represented everything we had dreamed about during our courtship. A beautiful 1920s craftsman bungalow in the historic Riverside district of Portland, Oregon, with original hardwood floors, built-in bookcases, and the kind of architectural character that modern homes simply cannot replicate. David had always appreciated my artistic sensibilities during our dating years. He would praise my ability to transform our tiny apartment into something warm and inviting, despite our limited budget. He seemed genuinely impressed when I would repurpose furniture from thrift stores or create artwork that made our space feel uniquely ours. His admiration for my creativity had been one of the qualities that convinced me he would be a supportive life partner. However, dynamics shifted significantly after we became engaged, and his mother, Patricia Thornfield, became more involved in our planning processes. Patricia was a woman who had definite opinions about proper aesthetics and appropriate lifestyle choices. She had decorated her own home in what she considered timeless elegance, which consisted primarily of beige walls, matching furniture sets purchased from established retailers, and accessories that coordinated perfectly without taking any creative risk. Patricia's influence on David became increasingly apparent as we planned our wedding, selected our apartment furnishings, and eventually began house hunting. She would offer suggestions that were presented as helpful guidance, but carried underlying implications that my preferences were somehow inadequate or inappropriate for the social circles she expected us to navigate. The tension escalated during the home renovation process. We had purchased the Craftsman bungalow with the understanding that it needed significant updating to become truly livable. The previous owners had maintained the structure well, but the interior design reflected decades of practical choices rather than aesthetic vision. Every room needed attention, from paint and flooring to lighting and furniture selection. I approached the renovation as an opportunity to create something truly special. I spent months researching design principles, studying color theory, and developing a comprehensive vision that would honor the home's historical character while incorporating modern functionality and artistic elements that reflected our personalities and lifestyle. My design concept centered around what I privately called curated eclecticism. Rather than selecting everything from matching collections, I chose pieces based on their individual merit and how they contributed to the overall aesthetic narrative. I combined vintage furniture that I restored myself with contemporary artwork from local artists. I selected color palettes that were sophisticated but not safe, incorporating deep jewel tones and unexpected combinations that created visual interest without becoming overwhelming. The living room became my masterpiece. I had discovered an antique Persian rug at an estate sale that featured intricate patterns in deep emerald, sapphire, and burgundy. Rather than treating this as a decorative accent, I built the entire room's design around its colors and aesthetic energy. I found a vintage leather sectional that I had professionally restored in rich cognac brown that complemented the rug's warm undertone. I commissioned a local woodworker to create custom built-in shelving that integrated seamlessly with the home's original architecture while providing display space for books, artwork, and meaningful objects. The walls featured a carefully curated collection of paintings and photographs from regional artists whose work I had been collecting for several years. These pieces represented different styles and time periods, but they shared common themes of natural beauty and human connection that created emotional coherence despite their visual diversity. The lighting design combined period-appropriate fixtures with modern track lighting that allowed me to highlight specific areas and create different moods throughout the day. The dining room featured a handcrafted walnut table that I had commissioned from a local furniture maker, surrounded by chairs that I had found at various antique shops and refinished to create a cohesive set despite their different origins. The walls displayed a collection of vintage botanical prints that I had discovered at estate sales and had professionally framed to create an elegant gallery wall. Throughout the house, I incorporated elements that reflected both David's and my interests and background. Mexican ceramics from my grandmother's collection were displayed alongside David's collection of vintage photography equipment. Plants and natural elements brought life and organic texture to every room. The overall effect was sophisticated but lived in, artistic but functional, unique but harmonious. David's responses to my design choices had been increasingly lukewarm as the renovation progressed. Initially, he had expressed enthusiasm for my vision and seemed excited about creating something distinctive together. However, as Patricia became more involved in offering opinions and suggestions, his support became more qualified and hesitant. Patricia's disapproval was never directly stated but was communicated through subtle comments and facial expressions that made her feelings clear. She would suggest that certain color choices might be bold in a tone that implied they were inappropriate. She would recommend furniture stores where we could find proper pieces that would be more suitable for entertaining. She would question whether specific artistic choices would appeal to potential future buyers if we ever decided to sell the home. David began echoing these concerns in conversations about design decisions. He started asking whether we should choose more neutral colors that would have broader appeal. He wondered whether the eclectic furniture choices might seem chaotic to visitors who were accustomed to more coordinated aesthetics. He suggested that we might want to consider Patricia's recommendations more seriously, since she had experience creating homes that impressed their social circle. The pressure intensified as we approached the completion of the renovation and began planning our housewarming party. This event was meant to celebrate our achievement and share our new home with family and friends. I had envisioned it as an opportunity to showcase the creative vision we had brought to life together, and to demonstrate how our space reflected our personalities and values. However, Patricia insisted on being heavily involved in the party planning process. She offered to contribute to the catering costs in exchange for input about the menu, decorations, and guest list. She suggested that the event should reflect the kind of sophisticated entertaining that would establish David and me appropriately within the community social hierarchy. Patricia's vision for the party emphasized traditional elegance and conventional presentation. She wanted formal catering rather than the casual, locally sourced menu I had planned. She preferred classical background music instead of the carefully curated playlist featuring artists whose work was displayed throughout our home. She suggested floral arrangements that would coordinate with neutral color schemes rather than complement the rich, complex palette I had created. Most significantly, Patricia made increasingly direct comments about specific design elements that she felt should be modified before the party. She suggested that the living room would look more pulled together if we replaced the eclectic furniture arrangement with a matching set from a reputable retailer. She recommended removing some of the artwork to create a cleaner aesthetic that would be less overwhelming for guests. She proposed rearranging the decorative objects to achieve better balance according to conventional design principles. David began supporting these suggestions more explicitly as the party date approached. He suggested that we might want to make some temporary adjustments to ensure that guests felt comfortable and that the space made a positive impression. He recommended that we consider Patricia's experience with successful entertaining when making final decisions about presentation. The evening of the housewarming party arrived with our home looking exactly as I had envisioned it 8 months earlier. Despite the pressure to modify my design choices, I had maintained my artistic vision because I believed deeply in what we had created together. The space was beautiful, functional, and authentically reflective of who we were as individuals and as a couple. The guests began arriving at 7 o'clock and initial responses were overwhelmingly positive. Friends from work complimented the sophisticated color choices and unique furniture selections. Neighbors expressed admiration for how we had honored the home's historical character while creating something thoroughly contemporary. Several people asked for recommendations about local artists and furniture makers whose work they had noticed and appreciated. The positive feedback validated my design choices and reinforced my confidence in the creative vision I had developed. I felt proud of what we had accomplished and grateful for the support our friends had shown for our artistic choices. The evening was unfolding exactly as I had hoped it would. Patricia arrived 45 minutes after the party began, accompanied by several members of David's extended family whom I had met only briefly at our wedding. She moved through the space with a critical eye, examining the decorative choices and furniture arrangements with an expression that suggested she was conducting some form of aesthetic evaluation. Her first comment came within minutes of her arrival, delivered in a voice loud enough for nearby guests to overhear. Standing in the center of the living room, surrounded by approximately 15 people who had been enjoying conversations about the space and the renovation process, Patricia announced her assessment of my design choice. "Isabella, I have to be honest with you," she said, her tone carrying the authority of someone delivering necessary correction. "This whole eclectic approach is really not working. The colors are too bold, the furniture doesn't match properly, and the overall effect is just overwhelming. It looks like you couldn't decide what style you wanted, so you just threw everything together and hoped it would work." The conversation around us stopped as guests processed what they had just heard. The silence that followed was deafening, filled with the kind of social tension that occurs when private family dynamics become public spectacle. I could feel my face burning with embarrassment as I struggled to formulate an appropriate response. I worked very hard to create a cohesive vision that honored the home's character while reflecting our personalities, I replied, trying to maintain composure despite the humiliation of being criticized so publicly. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. "That's exactly the problem," Patricia continued, her voice gaining confidence as she realized she had the attention of the room. "Design isn't about expressing personalities. It's about creating spaces that are elegant, timeless, and appropriate for the kind of people you want to associate with. This kind of mismatched artsy approach might seem creative to you, but it just looks amateurish to people who understand proper decorating." I looked toward David, expecting him to defend the home we had created together and the vision I had worked so hard to bring to life. Instead, I watched him nod in agreement with his mother's assessment, his expression suggesting that he had been harboring similar concerns but had been too polite to express them directly. "Mom has a point, Isabella," he said, his voice carrying the tone of someone delivering necessary but difficult feedback. "Maybe we did get a little carried away with trying to be different. Some of these choices are pretty bold, and they might not appeal to everyone who comes to our home." The betrayal was devastating, but what happened next transformed personal humiliation into something far more significant. As I stood in the center of my living room, surrounded by guests who were witnessing my husband side with his mother's criticism of my creative vision, the doorbell rang with timing that would prove to be absolutely transformative. David went to answer the door, probably grateful for the opportunity to escape the tension that had settled over the room. I could hear him speaking with someone at the entrance, his tone shifting from the uncomfortable defensiveness he had displayed moments earlier to surprised recognition and obvious pleasure. "Victoria Chen?" I heard him say. "What are you doing here? This is incredible. Isabella is going to be so excited to meet you." Victoria Chen was a celebrity interior designer whose work I had admired for years. She had been featured in every major home design magazine, had hosted television shows about residential renovation, and had worked with clients whose homes were regularly showcased in architectural publications. She was known for her innovative approaches to combining historical elements with contemporary functionality, exactly the aesthetic philosophy I had tried to implement in our renovation. I had no idea why she would be at our housewarming party, but her presence represented a completely unexpected development that would transform the entire dynamic of the evening. Victoria entered our living room with David, and her first reaction was immediate and unmistakable. She stopped in the doorway, her eyes scanning the space with the kind of intense focus that professional designers bring to aesthetic evaluation. Her expression shifted from polite interest to genuine surprise and then to obvious appreciation. "This is extraordinary," she said, her voice carrying the authority of someone whose opinion held significant weight in the design community. "Who created this space? This is exactly the kind of curated eclecticism that most people attempt but very few achieve successfully." The room fell silent again, but this time the tension was replaced by anticipation, as everyone waited to hear what the celebrity designer would say about the space that Patricia had just finished criticizing. I felt my heart racing as I realized that my design choices were about to be evaluated by someone whose expertise was unquestioned. "I did," I said quietly, still processing the surreal nature of having Victoria Chen examining my work. Victoria turned her attention to me with genuine interest, her expression suggesting that she wanted to understand how I had achieved what she was observing. "This is remarkable work. The way you've balanced the historical elements with contemporary pieces shows sophisticated understanding of design principles. The color palette is bold but cohesive, and the furniture selections create visual interest without sacrificing functionality." She moved through the space, examining specific elements and commenting on choices that demonstrated particular skill or creativity. "This rug anchors the entire room beautifully, and the way you've built the color scheme around its palette shows real confidence. The lighting design creates perfect ambiance while highlighting your art collection effectively. The custom built-ins integrate seamlessly with the original architecture." Patricia stood frozen in the center of the room, her earlier confidence completely deflated as Victoria continued her enthusiastic assessment of design choices she had just finished condemning. The contrast between their evaluations was stark and undeniable. "I have to ask," Victoria continued, "have you considered professional design work? This level of aesthetic sophistication combined with practical functionality is exactly what my clients are looking for, but it's incredibly rare to find designers who can execute this kind of vision successfully." The transformation of the evening's dynamics was complete and irreversible. In the span of 20 minutes, I had experienced the deepest humiliation of my marriage, followed by the most significant professional validation of my life. The contrast revealed truths about my relationships, my capabilities, and my worth that would reshape everything I believed about my future. The 48 hours following Victoria Chen's unexpected validation transformed my understanding of my marriage, my capabilities, and the systematic ways that creative vision can be undermined by those closest to. What began as personal humiliation evolved into strategic clarity about the dynamics that had been shaping my decisions for years without my conscious recognition. The immediate aftermath of the housewarming party revealed the depth of the philosophical divide between David and me regarding aesthetic judgment and professional risk. After the guests departed and Victoria Chen had exchanged contact information with me while expressing genuine interest in future collaboration, David and I found ourselves alone in our living room confronting the implications of what had occurred. David's first response was to minimize the significance of Victoria's enthusiastic assessment while defending his mother's criticism as representing mainstream sensibilities that we needed to consider. He suggested that Victoria's positive reaction might have been influenced by professional courtesy rather than genuine appreciation, and that Patricia's concerns about our design choices reflected practical considerations about resale value and broad market appeal. This attempt to rationalize the evening's events revealed systematic patterns in our relationship that I had previously attributed to minor differences in taste or social anxiety. David consistently deferred to his mother's judgment when her opinions conflicted with mine, regardless of the specific area of expertise involved. He prioritized conventional approval over innovative thinking, even when innovation demonstrably produced superior results. The conversation continued for several hours, during which David made increasingly explicit his belief that I had been irresponsible in pursuing such distinctive design choices, without considering how they would be perceived by people whose opinions mattered for our social and professional advance. He argued that homes should reflect stability and conventional success rather than personal creativity or artistic vision. This philosophical disagreement exposed fundamental incompatibilities that extended far beyond interior design preferences. David viewed our home as a reflection of our social status and economic position, while I considered it an expression of our personalities and values. He prioritized external validation from established authority figures, while I focused on creating authentic environments that supported our actual lifestyle and interests. The awakening deepened as I reflected on similar patterns throughout our 4-year marriage. David had consistently encouraged me to modify my preferences to align with his family's expectations, from wedding planning decisions to social activities to career choices. Each individual instance had seemed reasonable when considered in isolation, but the cumulative effect had been systematic erosion of my confidence in my own judgment and capability. The professional dimension of Victoria Chen's validation provided particularly crucial insight into how my creative abilities had been systematically undervalued within my marriage and social circle. David had always praised my artistic sensibilities in abstract terms, while discouraging me from pursuing opportunities that might transform those sensibilities into professional credentials or economic independence. When I had expressed interest in interior design courses or certification programs, David had suggested that such investments would be premature given our financial priorities and housing situation. When I had proposed offering design consulting services to friends or neighbors, he had argued that mixing personal relationships with business activities could create uncomfortable social dynamics. These discouraging responses had been presented as protective guidance intended to prevent disappointment or social awkwardness. However, Victoria's professional assessment revealed that my concerns about timing or preparation had been artificial constraints rather than legitimate obstacles. I possessed demonstrable skills that could generate both professional recognition and economic value, if I was willing to pursue opportunities, rather than seeking permission to explore my capability. The awakening process intensified as I began researching Victoria Chen's background and professional trajectory. Her career path revealed that successful interior designers often began with exactly the kind of residential renovation projects I had been completing for my own satisfaction. Many of the most respected professionals in the field had developed their expertise through personal projects before transitioning to client work and formal business development. This research revealed that my hesitation about pursuing professional opportunities had been based on artificial standards that did not reflect actual industry practices or requirements. The interior design field valued demonstrated capability and aesthetic vision more than formal credentials or traditional career progression. My renovation work represented exactly the kind of portfolio development that could support transition into professional practice. The financial analysis proved equally revealing. Interior design consulting could generate substantial income through relatively modest time investments, particularly for designers who specialized in the kind of curated eclecticism that I had mastered through my personal project. The local market included numerous homeowners who possessed adequate financial resources, but lacked the time or expertise to implement sophisticated design vision. The competitive landscape analysis showed that most local interior designers focused on conventional approaches that prioritized safe choices over innovative solutions. This created market opportunities for designers willing to work with clients who wanted distinctive results, but had been unable to find professionals capable of executing complex aesthetic vision. The timing analysis revealed that Portland's real estate market and demographic trends were creating increased demand for interior design services that could transform older homes into contemporary living spaces while honoring their historical character. This was precisely the specialty I had developed through our bungalow renovation and previous apartment improvement projects. The awakening culminated in recognition that my marriage had become a systematic constraint on my professional development and creative expression. David's concerns about conventional acceptance and his deference to his mother's traditional aesthetic preferences had prevented me from pursuing opportunities that aligned with my actual capabilities and interests. This realization created both liberation and anxiety. Liberation came from understanding that external validation of my creative vision was not only possible but professionally valuable. The anxiety emerged from recognizing that pursuing professional opportunities would require confronting David's expectations about my role within our marriage and his family's social circle. The strategic implications became clear through systematic analysis of my options and constraints. I could continue prioritizing domestic harmony by modifying my creative expression to align with conventional expectations, or I could pursue professional validation that might challenge existing relationship dynamics, but could provide both personal fulfillment and economic independence. The decision-making process required evaluating the long-term consequences of each alternative approach. Continuing to subordinate my creative vision to family harmony would provide short-term relationship stability but would likely generate increasing resentment and regret as I watched opportunities for professional development pass without being pursued. Alternatively, pursuing professional opportunities based on my demonstrated capabilities would create immediate tension within my marriage, but could establish foundation for both creative fulfillment and economic security that would enhance my long-term options and self-determination. The financial independence dimension proved particularly significant. Professional interior design work could potentially generate income that would reduce my dependence on David's career advancement and his family's financial assistance. This economic autonomy would provide increased flexibility for making decisions based on my own priorities, rather than familial expectations. The awakening process also revealed how systematically I had been discouraged from developing professional networks or industry relationships that could support career advancement. David had consistently suggested that professional networking events would interfere with our social obligations or family commitments, effectively isolating me from opportunities to build credibility within the design community. This isolation had prevented me from understanding how my skills compared to other practitioners, or what opportunities existed for someone with my background and capability. Victoria Chen's enthusiastic response provided the first objective assessment of my professional potential from someone with relevant expertise and industry credibility. The social dynamic analysis revealed that David's family operated according to traditional gender role expectations that prioritized women's domestic contributions over their professional achievement. Patricia's criticism of my design choices reflected not just aesthetic preferences, but underlying beliefs about appropriate feminine behavior and proper household management. These expectations had shaped David's attitudes about my career aspirations and creative expression in ways that neither of us had explicitly acknowledged. His encouragement of my artistic interests had been contingent on those interests remaining hobbies, rather than developing into professional activities that might compete with traditional domestic responsibility. The awakening required confronting the possibility that my marriage might not be compatible with pursuing my full professional potential. This recognition was emotionally difficult, but strategically necessary for making informed decisions about my future priorities and relationship investment. The research phase revealed that many successful women in creative fields had faced similar choices between relationship harmony and professional development. The most successful had found ways to pursue their career objectives, while either transforming their domestic relationships or accepting the temporary disruption that professional growth sometimes requires. The strategic planning process focused on developing approaches that could maximize my professional opportunities while minimizing unnecessary relationship conflict. This required careful sequencing of activities and communication strategies that could demonstrate the practical benefits of my professional development, rather than presenting it as rejection of family priority. The initial implementation strategy involved accepting Victoria Chen's invitation to collaborate on a client project that would provide professional portfolio development while generating income and industry credibility. This opportunity represented concrete validation of my capabilities while creating foundation for subsequent career advancement. The communication strategy required presenting this opportunity to David as professional development that could benefit our household finances, rather than personal fulfillment that might compete with family obligation.
This framing emphasized practical advantages while avoiding direct confrontation about underlying philosophical differences regarding women's roles in creative expression. The timeline development recognized that professional credibility would need to be established gradually through successful project completion and client satisfaction, rather than immediate dramatic career changes that might generate excessive family resistance or financial instability. The risk management planning addressed potential negative responses from David and his family while ensuring that professional opportunities would not be abandoned due to temporary relationship tensions. This required maintaining focus on long-term strategic objectives while managing short-term interpersonal dynamics effectively. The awakening process concluded with clear understanding that Victoria Chen's validation had revealed both professional opportunities and relationship constraints that required systematic attention. The path forward would involve strategic professional development, while either transforming or accepting the limitations of existing family dynamics. The transition from awakening to implementation required moving beyond analysis toward concrete actions that would test both my professional capabilities and my marriage's capacity to support my creative and economic aspirations. This transition represented the most significant risk I had taken since my wedding day, but the potential rewards justified accepting uncertainty about both professional and personal outcome. The woman who had been humiliated at her own housewarming party was beginning to understand that systematic underestimation creates opportunities for those willing to prove their worth through performance, rather than seeking permission through conventional channels. The discovery that would transform my understanding of professional opportunity began 3 days after the housewarming party, when Victoria Chen contacted me with a proposal that exceeded my most optimistic expectations about potential collaboration. Her call came at 8:30 on Thursday morning while David was preparing for work, creating the first test of how I would navigate professional opportunities within the context of existing domestic arrangement. Victoria's proposition involved a high-profile residential renovation project in the exclusive Laurelhurst neighborhood, where she had been commissioned to redesign a 1930s Tudor revival mansion for technology executive Margaret Sullivan and her husband, Dr. James Sullivan. The project represented exactly the kind of sophisticated residential work that established Victoria's reputation within Portland's design community, with an estimated budget exceeding $200,000 and timeline spanning 6 months. The discovery aspect emerged when Victoria explained that she needed a creative partner who specialized in the curated eclecticism approach I had demonstrated in my bungalow renovation. Her existing team possessed exceptional technical skills and project management capabilities, but they lacked the aesthetic sensibility required for combining historical elements with contemporary functionality in ways that created distinctive rather than conventional results. Victoria had recognized that my ability to balance bold color choices with sophisticated composition, integrate vintage pieces with modern elements, and create cohesive aesthetic narratives from diverse components represented exactly the expertise her clients were seeking, but her traditional design team could not provide effective. This represented validation that my unconventional approach addressed genuine market needs, rather than personal preferences that had limited commercial appeal. The financial structure of the collaboration opportunity revealed possibilities I had never considered regarding professional interior design work. Rather than offering a standard consulting arrangement or hourly compensation, Victoria proposed a partnership model where I would receive substantial equity participation in the project revenue along with formal credit as creative director for the aesthetic development. The compensation structure included an immediate retainer of $15,000 for the initial design development phase, followed by performance-based bonuses tied to client satisfaction and project completion milestones. The total potential compensation could reach $75,000 if the project achieved the aesthetic and functional objectives within the specified timeline and budget parameters. This financial opportunity represented more than supplemental household income. The potential earnings exceeded my previous annual salary from the marketing coordinator position I had left when David and I purchased our home. Professional interior design work could provide both creative fulfillment and economic independence that would fundamentally alter my options and autonomy within our marriage. The timeline requirements created both opportunity and challenge regarding managing the collaboration alongside existing domestic responsibility. The project would require approximately 25 hours per week for 6 months, including client meetings, site visits, vendor consultations, and design development activity. This represented substantial professional commitment, but remained manageable within existing household arrangements if David supported my participation. The client profile revealed additional dimensions of the opportunity that extended beyond immediate financial benefit. Margaret Sullivan was a prominent technology entrepreneur whose company had recently completed a successful acquisition that generated substantial personal wealth. She maintained an active social media presence and frequently hosted events that were covered by local lifestyle publications and design magazines. Successful completion of the Sullivan project could provide portfolio development and industry credibility that would support subsequent client acquisition and professional advancement. The visibility associated with high-profile clients could transform my professional reputation from unknown practitioner to recognized specialist in sophisticated residential design. The creative scope of the project aligned perfectly with my aesthetic philosophy and demonstrated capability. The Tudor Revival mansion required exactly the kind of historical sensitivity combined with contemporary functionality that I had mastered through our bungalow renovation. The budget parameters allowed for custom furniture commissioning, original artwork acquisition, and architectural modifications that could create truly distinctive results. Victoria's design brief emphasized that Margaret Sullivan wanted spaces that reflected her success and sophistication while maintaining warmth and livability for daily family activity. She specifically rejected conventional luxury approaches that prioritized status symbols over authentic personal expression. This client preference aligned with my design philosophy while providing opportunities to demonstrate capabilities on a larger scale with superior resources. The discovery process deepened when Victoria shared her analysis of why she had selected me for this collaboration, despite my lack of formal design credentials or established client portfolio. Her evaluation criteria revealed systematic biases within the interior design industry that created opportunities for practitioners willing to challenge conventional approaches. Most established interior designers, according to Victoria's analysis, had been trained according to traditional frameworks that emphasized safe choices and predictable outcomes over innovative thinking and creative risk-taking. This training produced competent professionals who could execute conventional projects effectively but struggled with clients who wanted distinctive results that challenged established aesthetic formulas. The market demand for innovative design solutions was increasing faster than the supply of professionals capable of delivering such results. Wealthy clients were becoming more sophisticated in their aesthetic preferences and less satisfied with conventional luxury approaches that failed to reflect their individual personalities and lifestyle. This market dynamic created opportunities for designers who possessed genuine aesthetic vision and were willing to pursue unconventional approaches that established professionals avoided due to training limitations or risk aversion. My demonstration of curated eclecticism represented exactly the kind of innovative thinking that sophisticated clients were seeking, but could not access through traditional design channels. The discovery included understanding how the interior design industry operated regarding professional recognition and career advancement. Success depended more on demonstrated capability and client satisfaction than formal credentials or institutional affiliation. Portfolio quality and aesthetic innovation attracted attention from both clients and industry professionals more effectively than traditional resume qualification. This insight revealed that my concerns about lacking formal design education or professional experience had been based on assumptions about industry requirements that did not reflect actual market dynamics. The field valued creative vision and execution capability over conventional preparation, creating opportunities for individuals who could demonstrate results regardless of their educational background. The research Victoria had conducted about my work extended beyond my bungalow renovation to include examination of previous apartment improvement projects and artistic activity. She had discovered photographs I had posted on social media platforms showing various design projects I had completed over several years, creating a comprehensive portfolio assessment that demonstrated consistent aesthetic development and technical skill progression. This systematic evaluation revealed that I had been unconsciously building professional credentials through personal projects and creative activities that I had considered merely hobbies or domestic responsibility. The cumulative body of work represented substantial evidence of aesthetic capability and design expertise that could support professional credibility if properly presented and marketed. The client consultation process provided additional validation of my design philosophy and practical capabilities. Margaret Sullivan requested a preliminary meeting to discuss aesthetic preferences and project objectives before finalizing the collaboration arrangement with Victoria and me. This conversation would test my ability to communicate design concepts effectively and build confidence with sophisticated clients. The meeting took place at the Sullivan residence on Saturday morning, providing my first opportunity to evaluate the existing spaces and understand the scope of transformation required. The Tudor mansion featured exceptional architectural details and proportions, but the interior design reflected previous owners' preferences, rather than the Sullivan family's lifestyle and aesthetic sensibility. Margaret Sullivan proved to be an engaged and knowledgeable client who had researched contemporary design trends and understood the distinction between conventional luxury and innovative aesthetic approach. Her questions demonstrated sophisticated appreciation for the challenges involved in balancing historical preservation with modern functionality. The conversation revealed that Margaret had specifically requested collaboration with a creative director who could think beyond traditional design formulas because her previous renovation experience had produced technically competent but aesthetically predictable results. She wanted spaces that would reflect her success while supporting her family's actual living patterns and entertainment preferences. My presentation of design concepts for the Sullivan project incorporated lessons learned from our bungalow renovation while scaling the approach to accommodate larger spaces and superior budget parameters. The aesthetic framework emphasized creating sophisticated environments that encouraged both formal entertaining and casual family activities through flexible furniture arrangements and adaptable lighting systems. The color palette development built on the curated eclecticism approach by selecting rich, complex tones that would provide visual interest while maintaining elegance appropriate for professional entertainment. The furniture strategy combined custom pieces commissioned from local artisans with carefully selected, vintage finds that would create unique aesthetic character while ensuring functionality and comfort. Margaret's response to my design presentation exceeded both Victoria's and my expectations regarding client enthusiasm and project authorization. She expressed immediate appreciation for the aesthetic vision while demonstrating understanding of how the proposed approach would address her specific lifestyle requirements and entertainment objectives. The financial authorization confirmed Victoria's assessment of the project potential. Margaret approved the complete design development phase with budget parameters that allowed for comprehensive aesthetic transformation of the primary living spaces, including custom furniture commissioning, original artwork acquisition, and architectural modifications to optimize flow and functionality. The professional implications of successful client authorization extended beyond immediate project revenue to include portfolio development and industry credibility that could support subsequent business expansion. Working with high-profile clients on substantial projects represented the kind of experience that established professional reputation within Portland's design community. The discovery concluded with formal contract execution that established my role as creative director for aesthetic development, while providing legal protection and financial security throughout the project timeline. The agreement included intellectual property provisions that ensured appropriate credit for innovative design solutions, while protecting both Victoria's business interest and my creative contribution. The communication strategy with David regarding this professional opportunity required careful presentation that emphasized practical benefits while addressing potential concerns about time commitments and household responsibility. The financial compensation provided compelling justification for professional engagement, while the flexible scheduling arrangements ensured that domestic obligations could be maintained effectively. David's initial response revealed both support for the economic opportunity and anxiety about how professional commitments might affect our relationship dynamics and social obligations. His concerns focused on ensuring that my professional activities would not conflict with family events or social responsibilities that were important to his career advancement. The negotiation process resulted in agreements about time allocation and scheduling priorities that protected both my professional development and our domestic arrangement. These compromises required careful planning, but demonstrated that pursuing creative opportunities was compatible with maintaining stable family relationships if both partners remained committed to supporting each other's growth and success. The transition from discovery to implementation required moving beyond planning toward concrete project execution that would test my professional capabilities while building industry credibility. This phase represented the most significant career risk I had undertaken, but the potential rewards justified accepting uncertainty about both professional outcomes and domestic adjustments. The woman who had been dismissed as having tacky aesthetic preferences was about to demonstrate that innovative design thinking could generate both creative fulfillment and substantial economic value when properly developed and professionally applied. The validation phase that followed my collaboration agreement with Victoria Chen required systematic preparation that would demonstrate professional competence while building expertise in areas that extended beyond my personal renovation experience. This phase represented the critical foundation for transitioning from amateur aesthetic sensibility to professional design capability that could deliver exceptional results for sophisticated clients. The research process began with comprehensive analysis of the Sullivan residence and the specific challenges involved in transforming a 1930s Tudor revival mansion into contemporary living spaces while honoring its historical architectural character. The property represented a significantly more complex project than my bungalow renovation, requiring understanding of period-appropriate materials, structural considerations, and design approaches that could accommodate both formal entertaining and casual family activity. The architectural evaluation revealed that the Tudor revival style presented unique opportunities and constraints that demanded specialized knowledge about historical design principles and contemporary adaptation strategies. The mansion featured original elements, including carved stone details, leaded glass windows, exposed beam ceilings, and built-in cabinetry that required careful integration with modern functionality and aesthetic update. The structural analysis indicated that achieving Margaret Sullivan's vision for open-concept living areas would require architectural modifications that balanced historical preservation with contemporary spatial requirements. This involved consulting with structural engineers, historical preservation specialists, and building code officials to ensure that proposed changes would meet both aesthetic objectives and regulatory compliance standards. The historical research phase involved studying Tudor revival architecture and period-appropriate design elements to understand the authentic aesthetic vocabulary that could inform contemporary interpretation. This research extended beyond superficial stylistic references to include understanding of the social and cultural context that shaped original design decisions, enabling more sophisticated integration of historical and modern elements. The material research process required developing expertise in sourcing authentic period materials alongside contemporary alternatives that could achieve similar aesthetic effects while providing superior functionality. This involved establishing relationships with specialized suppliers, artisan craftspeople, and restoration specialists who could provide materials and services that were not available through conventional retail channels. The vendor evaluation process revealed the importance of building professional networks within the interior design industry that could support complex project execution. Successful completion of sophisticated residential renovations required coordination among various specialists, including custom furniture makers, textile artisans, lighting designers, and installation technicians, whose capabilities and reliability could determine project outcomes. The budget analysis and cost estimation process required developing skills in financial planning and resource allocation that extended beyond personal renovation experience. Professional interior design projects involved multiple stakeholders, complex procurement processes, and timeline coordination that demanded systematic project management capabilities and financial accountability. The client relationship management research focused on understanding how successful interior designers maintained satisfaction and built long-term professional relationships with affluent clients whose expectations and communication styles differed significantly from casual social interaction. This involved studying professional communication protocols, project presentation methods, and conflict resolution strategies that could preserve client relationships despite inevitable challenges and disagreement. The portfolio development process required systematic documentation of my previous work while identifying areas where additional experience or capability development would strengthen my professional credibility. This analysis revealed specific skills and knowledge areas that required focused attention to ensure successful project completion and future client acquisition. The competitive analysis involved studying other interior designers in the Portland market to understand positioning strategies, pricing structures, and service offerings that could inform my own professional development. This research revealed market opportunities for designers who specialized in curated eclecticism while identifying potential competitive challenges that required strategic planning. The validation process included consultation with industry professionals who could provide objective assessment of my capabilities and realistic guidance about professional development priorities. These conversations revealed both strengths that could be leveraged for competitive advantage and areas that required additional preparation or skill development. The technical education phase involved intensive study of professional design software, space planning methodologies, and project management systems that were standard within the interior design industry. This self-directed learning process required significant time investment, but provided essential capabilities for professional project execution and client communication. The business development research focused on understanding the operational requirements for establishing a sustainable interior design practice that could support both immediate project success and long-term career advancement. This included analyzing legal structures, insurance requirements, financial management systems, and marketing strategies that successful designers employed to build thriving practices. The trend analysis and market research process involved studying contemporary design movements, emerging aesthetic preferences, and evolving client expectations that could influence project planning and strategic positioning. This research provided context for understanding how curated eclecticism aligned with broader market trends while identifying opportunities for innovation. The supplier relationship development process required establishing professional accounts and negotiating arrangements with vendors whose products and services would be essential for project completion. This involved presenting professional credentials, establishing credit relationships, and negotiating pricing structures that could support competitive project bidding while maintaining adequate profit margin. The quality control and project management research focused on understanding systems and processes that successful design firms employed to ensure consistent project delivery and client satisfaction. This included studying project scheduling methodologies, quality assurance protocols, and communication systems that could prevent common sources of client dissatisfaction and project delay. The validation phase included preparation of comprehensive project plans and design presentations that demonstrated professional competence while providing clear roadmaps for project execution. These materials required integration of aesthetic vision with practical considerations, including timeline coordination, budget management, and quality control measures. The client presentation preparation process involved developing sophisticated communication skills and presentation materials that could effectively convey complex design concepts to clients who possessed limited technical expertise but high aesthetic expectation. This required balancing creative vision with practical explanations that built confidence and maintained project authorization. The risk assessment and contingency planning process identified potential challenges that could affect project success while developing response strategies that could minimize negative impacts and maintain client satisfaction. This included analyzing potential material availability issues, contractor reliability concerns, and timeline coordination challenges that were common in complex residential renovation. The professional development validation included seeking feedback from Victoria Chen regarding my preparation efforts and readiness for project responsibility. These consultations provided opportunities to refine planning approaches while building confidence in my ability to deliver professional quality results that would meet both client expectations and industry standards. The financial planning and cash flow analysis process involved developing detailed projections for project revenue and expenses while ensuring adequate working capital for material procurement and contractor payment. This financial preparation provided foundation for managing project economics effectively while maintaining professional credibility with vendors and service providers. The legal and contractual preparation involved consulting with business attorneys regarding professional liability issues, contract structures, and intellectual property protections that could affect both immediate project execution and long-term career development. This preparation ensured appropriate legal protection while maintaining flexibility for future business expansion. The insurance and professional protection research identified coverage requirements for interior design professionals while evaluating options that provided adequate protection at reasonable cost. This preparation addressed potential liability issues while demonstrating professional accountability that could enhance client confidence and industry credibility. The marketing and professional communication preparation involved developing materials and strategies that could support both immediate project success and future client acquisition. This included creating professional portfolios, establishing online presence, and developing networking strategies that could build industry relationships and referral sources. The time management and personal productivity research focused on developing systems that could balance professional project requirements with existing domestic responsibilities and personal commitment. This preparation addressed David's concerns about time allocation while ensuring adequate focus for professional success. The validation process concluded with comprehensive readiness assessment that confirmed my preparation for professional project execution while identifying ongoing development priorities that could support continued career advancement. This assessment provided confidence for moving forward with the Sullivan project while maintaining realistic expectations about challenges and learning opportunities. The transition from validation to project implementation required final coordination with Victoria Chen regarding role definition, communication protocols, and accountability structures that would ensure successful collaboration throughout the project timeline. This preparation established clear expectations while providing flexibility for adaptation as project requirements evolve. The emotional preparation for professional transition involved reconciling excitement about career opportunities with anxiety about potential challenges and performance expectations. This psychological preparation required building confidence in demonstrated capabilities while maintaining humility about areas requiring continued learning and development. The family communication and relationship management preparation involved ongoing conversations with David about project requirements and domestic adjustments while ensuring that professional commitments would enhance rather than compromise our marriage and household stability. This preparation addressed his concerns while maintaining focus on career objectives. The physical preparation for professional activities included establishing dedicated workspace, acquiring necessary equipment and materials, and organizing systems that could support efficient project execution while maintaining separation between professional and personal activity. This preparation provided practical foundation for managing increased responsibilities and commitment. The validation phase concluded with clear understanding that professional interior design work
represented both significant opportunity and substantial responsibility that would require sustained effort and continued learning throughout the project timeline. The preparation process had provided essential foundation for success while revealing the scope of ongoing development that would be necessary for establishing a thriving design practice. A woman who had been criticized for her overwhelming aesthetic choices was now prepared to demonstrate that systematic preparation and professional development could transform creative vision into economic value while building industry credibility and personal satisfaction through meaningful professional contribution. The strategic planning phase transformed comprehensive research and validation efforts into actionable frameworks that would guide successful execution of the Sullivan Project while establishing foundation for sustained professional development.
This phase required systematic integration of aesthetic vision with practical implementation strategies that could deliver exceptional results within established timelines and budget parameters. The project planning process began with detailed analysis of the Sullivan residence renovation requirements and development of comprehensive implementation strategies that addressed both immediate project objectives and longer-term professional development goals. The planning framework needed to balance creative ambition with realistic resource allocation, while ensuring deliverable outcomes that would exceed client expectations and establish industry credibility. The timeline development process required careful coordination of multiple interdependent activities, including design development, material procurement, contractor scheduling, and client communication protocols. The 6-month project duration necessitated strategic sequencing that would optimize efficiency while maintaining flexibility for inevitable adjustments and refinements throughout the implementation process. The initial planning phase established 3 primary implementation stages that would structure project execution while providing clear milestones for progress evaluation and client communication. The design development stage would focus on translating aesthetic concepts into detailed specifications in technical drawings. The procurement and preparation stage would involve material acquisition and contractor coordination. The installation and completion stage would encompass physical transformation and final styling activities. The design development timeline allocated 8 weeks for creating comprehensive plans that would guide all subsequent project activity. This phase required intensive collaboration with Victoria Chen to ensure integration of creative vision with technical requirements, while maintaining clear communication with Margaret Sullivan regarding aesthetic preferences and functional priority. The aesthetic planning process involved systematic development of design concepts that would achieve the sophisticated eclecticism Margaret Sullivan desired while respecting the Tudor Revival architectural character of the residence. The planning required careful balance between bold creative choices and elegant restraint that would create distinctive results without overwhelming the historical context or functional requirement. The color palette development strategy established sophisticated tonal relationships that would unify diverse spaces while creating visual interest and emotional resonance throughout the residence. The planning process involved extensive research into historical pigments and contemporary color theory to develop palettes that would honor architectural authenticity while supporting modern lifestyle requirements. The furniture selection and procurement strategy required coordination between custom commissioning and strategic vintage acquisitions that would create unique aesthetic character while ensuring functionality and durability appropriate for high-end residential application. The planning process involved establishing relationships with local artisans and specialized dealers who could provide pieces that aligned with project aesthetics and timeline requirements. The lighting design planning encompassed both architectural integration and decorative elements that would enhance spatial quality while providing practical illumination for various activities and entertainment scenarios. The strategy required understanding of both historical lighting approaches and contemporary technology that could support sophisticated ambience control and energy efficiency. The material specification process involved extensive research and coordination to identify products that would meet aesthetic objectives while satisfying performance requirements for high-traffic residential application. The planning required balance between premium quality specifications and budget optimization that would maximize value while maintaining project margin. The vendor coordination strategy established systematic approaches for managing relationships with suppliers, contractors, and specialized service providers, whose capabilities would determine project quality and timeline adherence. The planning process included evaluation criteria and communication protocols that would ensure reliable performance while maintaining professional accountability throughout project execution. The client communication planning developed structured approaches for maintaining Margaret Sullivan's engagement and satisfaction while managing expectations and addressing inevitable challenges that would arise during implementation. The strategy required balance between creative leadership and collaborative decision-making that would preserve client autonomy while ensuring optimal aesthetic outcome. The quality assurance planning established systematic monitoring and evaluation processes that would ensure consistent delivery of premium results, while identifying potential issues before they could affect client satisfaction or project timeline. The framework included inspection protocols and correction procedures that would maintain professional standards throughout implementation. The financial planning and budget management strategy developed detailed projections and control systems that would ensure project profitability while providing transparent accountability to both Victoria Chen and Margaret Sullivan regarding resource allocation and expense management. The planning included contingency provisions for unexpected costs while maintaining competitive pricing structure. The professional development integration strategy ensured that project execution would provide maximum learning and credibility building opportunities while meeting immediate performance obligations. The planning identified specific skills and experience areas that could be developed through project activities, while maintaining focus on client satisfaction and successful completion. The risk assessment and mitigation planning identified potential challenges that could affect project success, while developing response strategies that would minimize negative impacts and maintain professional relationships. The analysis included material availability issues, contractor performance concerns, client preference changes, and timeline coordination challenges that were common in complex residential renovation. The documentation and portfolio development strategy established systematic approaches for capturing project progress and results that would support future marketing and client acquisition activity. The planning included professional photography, coordination, and case study development that would maximize promotional value while respecting client privacy and contractual obligations. The relationship management planning addressed coordination with Victoria Chen while establishing my independent professional identity and capabilities within the collaboration structure. The strategy required balance between supportive partnership and individual recognition that would support future business development while maintaining positive working relationships. The personal productivity and time management planning developed systems that would optimize efficiency while maintaining work-life balance and domestic relationship stability. The framework included scheduling protocols and boundary management that would ensure professional commitments could be fulfilled without compromising family obligations or personal well-being. The communication strategy with David regarding project implementation required ongoing dialogue about scheduling requirements and household adjustments, while demonstrating the professional and financial benefits of the collaboration opportunity. The planning addressed his concerns about time allocation while maintaining focus on career development objectives. The learning and skill development strategy identified specific competencies that would be developed through project execution while establishing frameworks for continued professional education that would support long-term career advancement. The planning included both formal training opportunities and experiential learning objectives that would enhance capabilities and industry credibility. The networking and relationship building strategy established approaches for developing professional connections within the interior design community, while building referral sources and collaboration opportunities that could support future business development. The planning included industry event participation and strategic relationship cultivation that would expand professional network. The competitive positioning strategy addressed how the project would establish my professional reputation while differentiating my capabilities from other interior designers in the Portland market. The planning emphasized curated eclecticism specialization while identifying unique value propositions that could attract sophisticated clients seeking innovative design solutions. The technology integration planning addressed professional software requirements and digital communication systems that would support efficient project coordination while providing clients with sophisticated presentation and progress monitoring capability. The strategy included investment in professional tools that would enhance productivity and client service quality. The intellectual property and professional protection planning addressed ownership rights and credit attribution for creative contributions, while ensuring appropriate legal protection for innovative design solutions and business methodology. The strategy included documentation requirements and contractual provisions that would protect professional interests while enabling collaborative relationships. The expansion and scalability planning considered how successful completion of the Sullivan project could support future business development, while identifying growth strategies that would enable transition from collaboration to independent practice. The framework included client acquisition approaches and service expansion opportunities that could leverage project success for sustained career advance. The performance measurement and evaluation planning established specific metrics and assessment criteria that would enable objective evaluation of project success, while identifying areas for improvement and professional development. The framework included both quantitative measures and qualitative assessments that would provide comprehensive feedback for continued learning and capability enhancement. The contingency planning addressed various scenarios that could affect project execution while developing response strategies that would maintain client satisfaction and professional relationships despite unexpected challenges. The analysis included alternative approaches and resource allocation adjustments that could ensure successful completion under various circumstances. The transition planning addressed progression from strategic development to project implementation while ensuring smooth coordination with Victoria Chen and effective client communication regarding project commencement. The framework included final preparation activities and launch protocols that would establish positive momentum for successful project execution. The strategic planning phase concluded with comprehensive implementation roadmaps that integrated creative vision with practical execution requirements, while providing clear frameworks for managing complex project coordination and professional development objectives. The planning process had transformed research insights and validation results into actionable strategies that could guide successful project completion while establishing foundation for sustained career advance. The emotional preparation for project implementation involved building confidence in strategic preparation while maintaining realistic expectations about challenges and learning opportunities that would emerge during execution. The psychological readiness required balance between professional ambition and practical acknowledgement of the substantial responsibilities and performance expectations associated with high-profile client collaboration. The woman who had been dismissed for her unconventional aesthetic preference was now prepared to demonstrate that strategic planning and systematic preparation could transform creative vision into professional success while building industry credibility and economic independence through meaningful client service and innovative design solutions. The bold move that would define my professional trajectory began on Monday morning at precisely 9 o'clock, when I walked into the Sullivan residence, carrying comprehensive design presentations that represented months of strategic preparation and the accumulated expertise of years of aesthetic development. This moment represented the transition from theoretical planning to practical implementation, where my creative vision would be tested against the sophisticated expectations of affluent clients and industry professionals. The significance of this first bold move extended beyond immediate project execution to encompass fundamental questions about my professional identity and capabilities. The presentations I was about to deliver would determine whether my unconventional background and self-directed expertise generate results that satisfied clients accustomed to working with established design professionals who possessed traditional credentials and extensive industry experience. The presentation preparation had required integration of aesthetic vision with technical specifications that demonstrated both creative sophistication and practical competence. The materials included detailed space plans, comprehensive material specifications, custom furniture design, lighting schematics, and timeline projections that reflected professional quality analysis while showcasing the innovative approaches that differentiated my work from conventional design solutions. The morning began with final coordination with Victoria Chen regarding presentation strategy and role definition during client meetings. Our collaboration required careful balance between her established professional authority and my creative leadership for aesthetic development, ensuring that Margaret Sullivan understood the value proposition while recognizing my specific contributions to the project vision. Victoria's confidence in my capabilities provided crucial support for managing the anxiety associated with this career-defining presentation. Her willingness to position me as creative director for aesthetic development represented significant professional validation while creating accountability for delivering results that would justify her faith in my unconventional background and innovative approach to interior design. The arrival at the Sullivan residence revealed the full scope of the transformation challenge we were undertaking. The Tudor Revival mansion possessed exceptional architectural character, but the existing interior design reflected previous owners' preferences rather than the sophisticated aesthetic vision that Margaret Sullivan had articulated during our initial consultation. Every room required comprehensive redesign that would honor historical elements while creating contemporary functionality. Margaret Sullivan's presence during the presentation demonstrated the serious consideration she was giving to our proposed approach. Her engagement level and detailed questions indicated that she understood the significance of the design decisions we were recommending and expected thorough justification for the substantial financial investment she was contemplating. The presentation began with comprehensive analysis of the existing spaces and systematic explanation of how proposed changes would address both functional requirements and aesthetic objectives. This foundational discussion established credibility for subsequent creative recommendations while demonstrating understanding of the practical considerations that influenced design decision-making in high-end residential applications. The space planning presentation revealed how strategic furniture arrangement and architectural modifications could transform the existing room configurations into flexible environments that supported both formal entertaining and casual family activity. The plans demonstrated sophisticated understanding of traffic flow, sightlines, and spatial relationships that would optimize functionality while creating opportunities for aesthetic enhancement. The color palette presentation showcased the curated eclecticism approach through sophisticated tonal relationships that would unify diverse spaces while creating visual interest and emotional resonance throughout the residence. The palette development reflected extensive research into historical pigments and contemporary color theory while addressing Margaret Sullivan's preferences for rich, complex colors that conveyed both elegance and warmth. The furniture selection presentation demonstrated how strategic combination of custom pieces and carefully chosen vintage acquisitions would create unique aesthetic character while ensuring functionality and durability appropriate for luxury residential application. Each recommended piece was presented with detailed justification regarding its contribution to overall design objectives and specific rationale for material and construction specification. The lighting design presentation encompassed both architectural integration and decorative elements that would enhance spatial quality while providing practical illumination for various activities and entertainment scenarios. The recommendations demonstrated understanding of both historical lighting approaches and contemporary technology that could support sophisticated ambiance control while maintaining energy efficiency and operational convenience. The material specification presentation addressed flooring,
wall treatments, window coverings, and architectural details that would support the overall aesthetic vision while meeting performance requirements for high-traffic residential application. The specifications reflected extensive research and careful balance between premium quality requirements and budget optimization that would maximize value while maintaining appropriate profit margin. Margaret Sullivan's response to the comprehensive presentation exceeded both Victoria's and my expectations regarding client enthusiasm and project authorization. Her questions demonstrated sophisticated appreciation for the design reasoning while revealing genuine excitement about the transformation possibilities we had articulated. Her engagement level indicated that our approach aligned with her vision while providing solutions she had not previously considered. The technical discussion that followed the aesthetic presentation addressed implementation timelines, contractor coordination, and quality assurance protocols that would ensure successful project execution within established budget parameters. This conversation demonstrated my understanding of operational requirements while building confidence in my ability to manage complex project coordination effectively. The financial discussion addressed project costs and payment structures while providing transparent explanation of how budget allocation would maximize aesthetic impact and functional improvement. The conversation revealed that my financial planning and cost estimation capabilities met professional standards while providing value optimization that justified the substantial investment Margaret Sullivan was considering. The contractor coordination discussion addressed how proposed design solutions would integrate with architectural modifications and technical installations that required specialized expertise and careful scheduling coordination. This conversation demonstrated understanding of construction processes while establishing clear accountability for project management and quality control throughout implementation. The timeline coordination discussion established realistic expectations regarding project duration while identifying critical milestones that would enable progress monitoring and course correction if unexpected challenges emerged during implementation. The scheduling framework provided structure for managing complex interdependencies while maintaining flexibility for inevitable adjustments and refinement. The project authorization that resulted from this presentation represented validation of both my creative vision and professional capabilities at a level that exceeded my most optimistic expectations. Margaret Sullivan's decision to proceed with the complete design implementation while expressing enthusiasm for our innovative approach provided concrete evidence that systematic preparation and strategic risk-taking could generate exceptional opportunity. The financial commitment Margaret Sullivan authorized confirmed the substantial economic value of professional interior design expertise when properly developed and effectively marketed. The project revenue would provide both immediate income and portfolio development that could support subsequent client acquisition and professional advancement within Portland's design community. The professional recognition implicit in successful client authorization represented transformation from unknown practitioner to established creative professional whose work would be visible within affluent social circles and potentially featured in design publications. This credibility building could accelerate career development while providing foundation for independent practice development. The collaboration framework established with Victoria Chen created mentorship opportunities while maintaining clear recognition of my creative contributions and professional identity. The arrangement provided learning experiences while ensuring appropriate credit for innovative design solutions that could enhance industry reputation and referral generation. The implementation responsibility that accompanied project authorization created accountability for delivering results that would justify client confidence while building professional credibility within the design community. The performance expectations required sustained excellence throughout the 6-month project timeline while managing inevitable challenges and coordination complexity. The personal impact of successful project authorization provided validation that pursuing professional opportunities despite conventional constraints, had been strategically sound. The decision to risk relationship tension and domestic disruption in pursuit of career development was demonstrably justified by the concrete opportunities that resulted from strategic preparation and bold implementation. The emotional significance of client authorization represented vindication of creative vision that had been systematically undermined by family criticism and conventional expectations. The professional validation provided by sophisticated clients who appreciated innovative aesthetic approaches contradicted dismissive judgments that had previously shaped my self-perception and career confidence. The relationship dynamics with David regarding project authorization required careful communication about time commitments and scheduling adjustments, while emphasizing the financial and professional benefits that would result from successful project completion. His response revealed both pride in my achievement and continued anxiety about how professional commitments might affect domestic arrangements and social obligations. The family dynamics with Patricia regarding professional authorization created interesting tensions between her previous aesthetic criticism and growing recognition that my design capabilities were generating both income and professional recognition. Her response suggested reluctant acknowledgement that my unconventional approach was producing results that commanded respect from sophisticated clients. The strategic implications of successful project authorization extended beyond immediate execution to encompass long-term professional development and business expansion opportunities. The credibility established through high-profile client success could support transition from collaboration to independent practice while providing foundation for service expansion and market positioning. The implementation planning that followed project authorization required detailed coordination with Victoria Chen regarding role responsibilities and communication protocols, while establishing systems for managing complex project coordination effectively. The planning addressed potential challenges while ensuring accountability structures that would maintain professional relationships throughout project execution. The resource allocation planning addressed time management and productivity optimization that would enable successful project completion while maintaining domestic stability and personal well-being. The framework required careful balance between professional commitments and family obligation, while ensuring adequate focus for delivering exceptional results. The professional development integration planning identified specific learning opportunities that would emerge through project execution, while establishing frameworks for continued capability enhancement that could support sustained career advancement. The planning emphasized both technical skill development and industry relationship building that would provide foundation for future business development. The transition from bold presentation to systematic implementation required sustained commitment to excellence while maintaining flexibility for adaptation and refinement as project requirements evolved. This transition represented the most significant professional challenge I had undertaken, requiring integration of creative vision with operational discipline that would determine both immediate project success and long-term career viability. The woman who had been publicly humiliated for her aesthetic choices was now positioned to demonstrate that innovative design thinking, combined with professional preparation, could generate exceptional client satisfaction while building industry credibility and economic independence through meaningful creative contribution and systematic business development. The opposition that emerged during the third week of the Sullivan Project implementation revealed systematic resistance to my professional advancement that extended far beyond the aesthetic disagreements that had characterized previous family tension. The resistance manifested through coordinated efforts to undermine my credibility and create obstacles that could jeopardize both immediate project success and long-term career development prospects. The first indication of organized opposition appeared when David received a phone call from his uncle Richard Thornfield, Patricia's older brother, who possessed significant influence within Portland's business community through his position as managing partner at Thornfield Associate, prominent commercial real estate firm. Richard had learned about my interior design collaboration through family communication and expressed serious concerns about the professional and social implication of my career activity. Richard's opposition centered on his belief that my design work represented inappropriate behavior for someone in David's social position, particularly given his aspiration for advancement within the financial services industry, where professional wives were expected to support their husbands' careers through traditional social activities, rather than pursuing independent, professional recognition. His concern reflected systematic biases about appropriate gender roles within affluent social circles. The conversation between David and Richard revealed that my professional activities were being interpreted as rejection of family values and social expectations that governed behavior within their established community network. Richard suggested that my collaboration with Victoria Chen could create uncomfortable dynamics within social situations where other wives maintained traditional domestic roles while I pursued independent career advancement. The opposition intensified when Patricia organized a family meeting that included David's parents, his uncle Richard, and his sister Caroline, who had recently completed her MBA and worked in marketing for a technology company. The meeting agenda focused on addressing concerns about how my professional activities might affect David's career prospects and the family's social standing within their established community network. Patricia's presentation during this family meeting characterized my interior design work as a temporary hobby that was receiving disproportionate attention and creating unrealistic expectation about sustained career development. She argued that successful marriages required clear role definition and that my professional ambition were creating confusion about domestic priorities that could ultimately damage our relationship's stability. Richard's contribution to the family discussion emphasized the potential negative consequences for David's professional advancement if his wife was perceived as prioritizing personal career interests over supportive spouse responsibility.
He cited specific examples of colleagues whose wives had pursued high-profile careers and suggested that such arrangements often created professional disadvantages for ambitious men in conservative industries. Caroline's perspective reflected generational differences regarding women's career aspirations, while maintaining family loyalty that prevented direct support for my professional development. She acknowledged that women possessed equal capabilities for professional success, while suggesting that timing and strategic considerations should influence decisions about when and how to pursue career advancement within marriage contexts. The family consensus that emerged from this meeting established systematic pressure for me to reduce my professional commitments and refocus attention on traditional domestic responsibilities that would better support David's career advancement. The opposition was presented as protective guidance intended to preserve our marriage stability and optimize our long-term economic prospects through David's professional success. David's response to this family pressure revealed the extent to which his support for my career development had been conditional on external approval and minimal interference with established social expectations. His willingness to advocate for my professional opportunities diminished significantly when confronted with systematic family opposition that questioned his judgment and leadership within our marriage relationship. The practical manifestation of this opposition appeared through increased pressure for social commitments that conflicted with my project timeline and professional responsibilities. Patricia organized dinner parties and family events that were scheduled during periods when I needed to focus on Sullivan project coordination, creating apparent conflicts between family obligations and professional commitment. The social pressure extended to expectations about community involvement and volunteer activities that would demonstrate appropriate priorities for someone in David's social position. These activities were presented as important networking opportunities that could benefit David's career while providing more suitable outlets for my organizational and creative capabilities than independent professional practice. The financial dimension of the opposition emerged through subtle questions about the economic wisdom of pursuing interior design work when David's career advancement could provide superior household income without requiring my professional contribution. The family analysis suggested that time invested in supporting David's networking and business development activities would generate better long-term financial returns than independent career development. The opposition tactics included systematic efforts to diminish the significance of my professional achievements while emphasizing the temporary and uncertain nature of creative career prospects. Family communications consistently characterized my design collaboration as interesting hobby work rather than legitimate professional development that could support sustained career advancement and economic independence. The most sophisticated aspect of the opposition involved attempts to create professional obstacles that could undermine project success without direct family involvement. Richard utilized his business connections to generate subtle pressure on vendors and contractors who were providing services for the Sullivan Project, suggesting that my professional credibility was questionable and that established design firms would provide more reliable service. These indirect interference efforts created practical challenges for project coordination, while providing family members with plausible deniability regarding their opposition to my career development. The obstacles appeared to result from normal business complications rather than systematic efforts to undermine my professional success and industry credibility. The psychological impact of coordinated family opposition was more significant than individual criticism, because it represented systematic rejection of my professional identity and capabilities by people whose support I had expected during this crucial career development phase. The opposition suggested that pursuing professional success was inherently selfish and threatening to family stability and social harmony. The strategic response to this opposition required careful analysis of underlying motivations and systematic development of counter-strategies that could neutralize resistance while maintaining essential family relationships. The opposition reflected both genuine concerns about change and systematic biases about women's roles that could be addressed through education and demonstration rather than direct confrontation. The professional validation that emerged through continued project success provided powerful counter-narrative to family opposition claims about my capabilities and career prospects. Margaret Sullivan's satisfaction with project progress and her referrals to other potential clients demonstrated that sophisticated consumers valued my design expertise and were willing to pay substantial compensation for innovative aesthetic solutions. Victoria Chen's continued confidence in our collaboration relationship provided industry credibility that contradicted family suggestions about my professional limitations and temporary career prospects. Her willingness to expand our partnership scope and discuss future project opportunities demonstrated that established design professionals recognized my capabilities and market value. The financial results from the Sullivan Project provided concrete evidence that interior design work could generate substantial income that exceeded family expectations about creative career earning potential. The project revenue was demonstrably contributing to household finances while providing foundation for continued career development and business expansion opportunity. The client feedback and industry recognition that resulted from project implementation contradicted family claims about questionable professional credibility and limited market acceptance. The positive response from sophisticated clients and design professionals validated my strategic approach, while building momentum for sustained career advancement despite family resistance. The response strategy involved systematic documentation of professional achievements and financial contributions that could counter opposition arguments about hobby characterization and limited career prospects. This evidence-based approach provided objective foundation for discussions about career development, while avoiding emotional arguments that could escalate family conflicts unnecessarily. The communication strategy with David required careful balance between defending professional commitments and acknowledging legitimate concerns about time allocation and family priority. The approach emphasized mutual benefit and long-term strategic advantages, while addressing his anxiety about social pressure and career implications. The boundary establishment process involved clear articulation of professional commitments that could not be compromised without jeopardizing client relationships and industry credibility. These boundaries provided structure for managing competing demands, while ensuring adequate focus for successful project completion and career advancement. The alliance-building strategy identified family members and social connections who could provide support for my professional development despite broader opposition from traditional authority figures. These relationships provided alternative perspectives and validation that could counter systematic resistance and maintain confidence during challenging periods. The long-term strategic planning addressed how continued professional success could eventually transform family opposition into acceptance and support as achievements became undeniable and financial contributions became significant. The approach recognized that changing entrenched attitudes required sustained performance rather than immediate confrontation. The professional development acceleration strategy involved leveraging opposition challenges as motivation for exceptional performance that would exceed client expectations, while building industry relationships that could provide ongoing opportunities, regardless of family support level. The approach transformed resistance into competitive advantage through increased focus and determination. The personal resilience development process involved building emotional strength and professional confidence that could withstand systematic pressure while maintaining commitment to career objectives. This psychological preparation recognized that pursuing unconventional paths required sustained courage and determination despite social pressure and family disappointment. The relationship management strategy addressed maintaining marriage stability while defending professional commitments that were essential for career development and personal fulfillment. The approach required ongoing negotiation and compromise, while protecting core interests that could not be sacrificed without fundamental identity compromise. The opposition experience provided valuable learning about navigating resistance to women's professional advancement within traditional social structures, while building strategies that could support other women facing similar challenges. The experience demonstrated that systematic opposition often intensifies when success becomes visible and threatens established power dynamics. The strategic outcome of managing family opposition successfully established precedent for defending professional interests against social pressure while building capabilities that could support sustained career advancement despite continuing resistance. The experience proved that coordinated opposition could be overcome through sustained performance and strategic relationship management. The transformation of opposition challenges into professional motivation demonstrated that resistance often reveals the significance of achievements, while providing opportunities to build resilience and determination that support exceptional performance. The family pressure had ultimately strengthened my commitment to professional success while clarifying priorities and values that would guide future decision-making. The woman who had been dismissed for her aesthetic choices was now proving that systematic opposition could be transformed. Competitive advantage through strategic thinking and exceptional performance that generated undeniable results and built industry credibility that transcended family resistance and social pressure. The alliance formation that would transform my professional trajectory emerged from the recognition that sustained career advancement required strategic partnerships with individuals who possessed complementary capabilities and shared commitment to challenging conventional approaches within the interior design industry. The systematic family opposition I had encountered revealed the necessity of building professional support networks that could provide both practical assistance and strategic validation independent of traditional social structure. The initial alliance opportunity presented itself through Margaret Sullivan's introduction to other affluent homeowners who had observed the preliminary results of our renovation project and expressed interest in similar design solutions for their own residences. These referrals represented validation that my aesthetic approach possessed broad market appeal among sophisticated consumers who prioritized innovative design over conventional luxury formulation. The first strategic alliance developed with Sarah Mitchell, a successful technology entrepreneur who had recently purchased a mid-century modern residence in the exclusive West Hills neighborhood. Sarah's background in software development and venture capital investment provided her analytical frameworks that aligned with my systematic approach to design problem-solving, while her financial resources enabled ambitious aesthetic transformations that could showcase advanced design capability. Sarah's proposition involved collaboration on her residence renovation, while establishing ongoing partnership arrangements that could support both of our professional objectives. Her technology industry connections included numerous individuals who possessed substantial discretionary income and sophisticated aesthetic preferences, creating potential client pipeline that could sustain expanded design practice development. The partnership structure that emerged from our collaboration discussions addressed my need for financial stability and professional credibility, while providing Sarah with access to design expertise that could differentiate her residence within Portland's competitive luxury real estate market. The arrangement included equity participation in project outcomes alongside traditional compensation structures that would optimize returns for both participants. The second critical alliance formed with Marcus Rivera, a local furniture maker whose craftsmanship capabilities complemented my design aesthetics while providing access to custom fabrication services that were essential for implementing distinctive aesthetic vision. Marcus possessed exceptional technical skills and artistic sensibility, but lacked business development expertise and marketing capabilities that could expand his client base beyond traditional furniture retail channels. The collaboration framework with Marcus established exclusive partnership arrangements for custom furniture development, while providing him with steady revenue streams through design project referral. This relationship created competitive advantages for both our practices, while ensuring access to unique fabrication capabilities that established firms could not replicate through conventional supplier relationships. The third alliance opportunity emerged through connection with Elena Rodriguez, a commercial photographer who specialized in interior and architectural photography for design publications and marketing material. Elena's expertise in visual documentation provided crucial capabilities for portfolio development and professional marketing, while her industry relationships included editors and publishers who could provide media coverage that would enhance professional credibility. Elena's partnership proposition involved collaborative marketing arrangements where her photography services would be provided at reduced rates in exchange for portfolio development opportunities and referral sharing from satisfied design clients who required professional photography services. This relationship created mutual benefit while providing access to professional documentation capabilities that were essential for industry recognition. The alliance formation process required systematic evaluation of potential partners based on capability assessment, strategic fit analysis, and commitment level evaluation that could ensure sustainable collaborative relationships. The evaluation framework addressed both immediate project requirements and long-term professional development objectives, while maintaining flexibility for relationship evolution as business circumstances changed. The partnership negotiations involved developing collaboration structures, balanced individual professional interests with collective strategic advantages, while ensuring clear accountability and communication protocols that could prevent conflicts and maintain productive working relationships throughout extended project timelines and varying market conditions. The financial arrangements within these alliance structures required innovative approaches that could provide adequate compensation for all participants while maintaining competitive pricing that could attract sophisticated clients and generate sustainable business growth. The structures included combination of fixed fees, performance bonuses, and equity participation that aligned incentives while sharing risks appropriately. The operational coordination systems established through these alliances addressed project management, communication protocol, and quality assurance measures that could ensure consistent delivery of exceptional results while maintaining professional accountability and client satisfaction throughout complex project implementation process. The professional development benefits that emerged through alliance participation included accelerated learning opportunities, expanded capability development, and enhanced industry credibility that could support career advancement beyond what individual effort could achieve within comparable timeframes. The collaborative learning created multiplicative effects that enhanced all participants' professional capability. The market positioning advantages created through alliance formation included expanded service offerings, enhanced credibility through association with established professionals, and access to client networks that were not available through individual marketing efforts. These advantages created competitive differentiation that could attract premium clients while commanding higher compensation levels. The strategic alliance with Victoria Chen evolved beyond the original project collaboration to encompass ongoing partnership arrangements that could provide sustained professional development opportunities while building industry relationships that would support long-term career advancement. Victoria's willingness to expand our collaboration scope reflected confidence in my capabilities while providing mentorship that accelerated professional growth. The alliance formation process also included connection with Amanda Foster, a business attorney who specialized in creative industry legal services and could provide professional guidance regarding contract development, intellectual property protection, business structure optimization that would support sustainable practice development while protecting professional interests and creative contribution. Amanda's legal expertise proved invaluable for developing partnership agreements, client contracts, and business protection measures that could prevent common sources of conflict while ensuring appropriate compensation and credit attribution for innovative design solutions. Her services provided professional foundation that enhanced credibility while protecting business interests. The networking expansion that resulted from alliance formation created access to Portland's design community leadership, including established practitioners, industry suppliers, and potential clients who comprised the professional ecosystem that could support sustained career advancement. These relationships provided both immediate business opportunities and long-term strategic positioning within the local market. The collaborative projects that emerged through alliance relationships demonstrated capabilities that exceeded what individual practitioners could achieve independently while providing portfolio development that showcased sophisticated design solutions and professional competence. These projects created momentum for continued business expansion while building industry reputation. The professional recognition that resulted from alliance collaboration included feature coverage in regional design publications, speaking opportunities at industry events, and invitation to participate in prestigious design showcases that provided visibility within the professional community while attracting potential clients and collaboration partners. The educational opportunities created through alliance participation included access to specialized training programs, industry conference, and professional development activities that enhanced capabilities while building relationships with other practitioners who could provide ongoing support and collaboration opportunities throughout career advancement. The financial stability provided through alliance relationships created foundation for sustainable business development while reducing dependence on individual client relationships that could create revenue volatility and professional uncertainty. The diversified income streams enabled more strategic decision-making regarding project selection and professional development investment. The strategic planning coordination among alliance partners addressed long-term market positioning, service expansion opportunities, and competitive strategy development that could leverage collective capabilities while maintaining individual professional identity and business autonomy. This coordination created systematic approach to market development while preserving entrepreneurial flexibility. The resistance management that emerged through alliance support provided strategies for addressing family opposition and social pressure while maintaining professional commitments and career development momentum. The alliance relationships provided alternative validation and support systems that could counter traditional authority structures that discouraged women's professional advancement. The client relationship management that developed through alliance collaboration included systematic approaches to communication, expectation management, and satisfaction measurement that could ensure positive outcomes while building referral networks and professional reputation. These systems provided foundation for sustainable business growth while maintaining quality standards. The innovation development that resulted from alliance collaboration encouraged creative problem solving and aesthetic advancement that pushed boundaries of conventional design practice while maintaining practical applicability and client satisfaction. The collaborative creativity generated solutions that individual practitioners could not develop independently. The market expansion opportunities created through alliance networks included access to commercial projects, hospitality design opportunities, and consulting arrangements that could diversify revenue sources while building expertise in multiple market segments.
These opportunities provided growth pathways beyond residential design while leveraging existing capabilities. The professional mentorship that emerged through Alliance Relations provided guidance regarding business development, strategic planning, and career advancement that accelerated learning while avoiding common mistakes that could compromise professional development. This mentorship created shortcuts to expertise development while building confidence for ambitious goal pursuit. The succession planning that developed through alliance formation addressed how collaborative relationships could evolve to support eventual independent practice development while maintaining beneficial partnerships that could continue providing mutual advantage. This planning recognized that alliance formation was strategic foundation for sustainable career advancement rather than permanent dependency arrangement. The alliance formation experience demonstrated that strategic partnerships could transform individual capabilities into collective competitive advantages while providing support systems that enabled professional advancement despite systematic opposition from traditional authority structure. The collaborative approach created multiplicative effects that enhanced all participants' success while building industry relationships that could sustain long-term career development. The woman who had been dismissed for her unconventional aesthetic choices was now demonstrating that strategic alliance formation could create professional networks that provided both practical support and industry credibility necessary for sustained career advancement in competitive creative industries where individual effort alone was insufficient for achieving exceptional success and professional recognition. The market breakthrough that validated my strategic alliance approach manifested through a series of high-profile client acquisitions and industry recognition events that exceeded my most optimistic projections for professional advancement within the Portland design community. This breakthrough represented the culmination of systematic preparation, strategic relations building, and sustained excellence in project execution that had transformed my reputation from unknown practitioner to sought-after design specialist. The breakthrough began with the completion of the Sullivan project, which generated client satisfaction levels that prompted Margaret Sullivan to initiate referrals to her extensive network of affluent homeowners who possessed both financial resources and a sophisticated aesthetic preferences. These referrals represented validation that my curated eclecticism approach addressed genuine market needs among consumers who wanted distinctive design solutions that reflected personal values rather than conventional luxury formulation. The first major referral opportunity came through Margaret Sullivan's introduction to Catherine and Robert Chen, technology executives who had recently purchased a 1940s colonial revival estate in the prestigious Forest Park neighborhood. Their renovation budget exceeded $300,000, and their aesthetic preferences aligned perfectly with my design philosophy, while providing opportunities to demonstrate capabilities on an even larger scale than previous projects. Catherine Chen's initial consultation revealed that she had researched my work through the Sullivan Project and specifically requested collaboration because of my ability to integrate historical elements with contemporary functionality while creating sophisticated environments that supported both professional entertaining and comfortable family living. Her confidence in my capabilities reflected the industry credibility that had been built through successful project completion and strategic alliance development. The Chen project authorization provided immediate validation of my market positioning while creating financial foundation for sustained business expansion. The project revenue represented substantial income that exceeded my previous annual compensation from traditional employment while providing portfolio development opportunities that could attract additional high-profile clients and industry recognition. The scope of the Chen project required coordination with the full network of alliance partners that had been developed through previous collaborations. Marcus Rivera would provide custom furniture fabrication, Elena Rodriguez would document the design process and final results, and Sarah Mitchell would serve as business development consultant while providing technology infrastructure that could optimize project management and client communication systems. The collaborative approach to the Chen project demonstrated the competitive advantages that had been created through strategic alliance formation. The combined capabilities of our partnership network enabled comprehensive service offerings that established design firms could not replicate through conventional supplier relationships, while providing cost efficiencies that maintained competitive pricing despite premium quality specification. The design development process for the Chen project showcased advanced aesthetic capabilities that reflected the professional growth achieved through previous project experience and alliance collaboration. The design concept integrated historical preservation requirements with cutting-edge technology infrastructure while creating flexible spaces that could accommodate various entertainment scenarios and family lifestyle requirements. The material specification process revealed the sophisticated vendor relationships that had been established through alliance development and previous project experience. Access to custom fabrication capabilities, specialty material suppliers, and artisan craftspeople provided design options that were not available through conventional retail channels, while ensuring unique aesthetic character that could not be replicated by competitors. The project timeline and coordination requirements tested the operational systems that had been developed through alliance collaboration, while demonstrating project management capabilities that satisfied clients accustomed to working with established commercial contractors and professional service providers. The successful coordination validated the professional infrastructure that supported sustained business growth. The industry recognition that emerged during the Chen project implementation included invitation to participate in the Portland Home and Garden Show as a featured designer, which provided visibility among potential clients while establishing credibility within the regional design community. This recognition represented transition from unknown practitioner to acknowledged specialist, whose work warranted public presentation and media coverage. The media attention that resulted from the home show participation included feature coverage in Portland Monthly Magazine and Oregon Home Publication, which provided professional portfolio development while attracting inquiries from potential clients who had not been accessible through previous marketing efforts.
The media coverage validated the strategic approach to professional development, while expanding market reach beyond local networking capabilities. The speaking engagement opportunities that emerged through industry recognition included presentations at Portland State University Design Program and Oregon Association of Interior Designers professional development events. These speaking opportunities provided thought leadership positioning, while building relationships with both emerging designers and established industry professionals who could provide collaboration and referral opportunities. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.